Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Home Coffee Brewing with April. For this video, we're still in Los Angeles and we're recording together with Peter. And this time, it's time for us to see how he is using his home espresso Flair maker to brew some April coffee as espresso. So we're back on the inside. We actually never left. We're here to make the second video here together. We did the filter video. Make sure you watch that. That was last week's video. And now we're gonna brew some espresso. Excited?
Yeah.
It's not everyone that has a Flair 58 at home. I don't. But it's super cool, right? And we haven't featured anything like quite as manual so far on this channel. So I think a lot of people are going to be really excited to see what you're up to.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk us through like a little bit on just the like machine itself? Is there anything cool? Like what's the basket size and all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I chose Flair because I want a Slayer single group in my house. You know, that's maybe will happen soon. But I'm thinking I wanted this because I wanted something a little bit more manual.
Yeah.
More like hands-on. You have control of what's happening throughout the whole process.
Sure.
Not just one click and pulls out a shot. So I also like the option of pressure profiling.
Yeah.
You know, when you started diving into learning about espresso, people talk about that and like thinking, you want more options to try.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
That's the whole theme today, right? Like I want to try something different.
Well, we saw that in the filter video as well, right? It's all about exploring coffee, which also makes this exciting.
Yeah. So then I think I chose this, and for the price, what you can do and what you get out of it is amazing. I think it makes a great shot. I mean, I know a coffee shop, Intelligentsia here in Pasadena. They have a single origin coffee espresso shot. They pull out a Flair 58.
They actually do that in the store. Yep. I didn't know. Awesome.
So which is really cool because it's really good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 18 grams standard basket. Actually, I think I got is it IMS or the one that's just
yeah, sure.
Yep,
Yeah.
I got IMS 18 grams.
Can I have a look?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I was looking into maybe upgrading to those newer baskets with more holes and.
Yeah, I like the Weber basket. You have that lot. Like baskets is a thing these days, right?
Yeah.
I will say that it's interesting, but I haven't found a basket that necessarily brews better coffee than the VST Ridgeless.
Okay. Well,
just putting it out there, and then we can talk about it. Really cool. This as well.
And they're
we'll get back to this.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want this back in, or should we put it there?
Oh, just put it back in. Yeah.
Super cool. Full disclosure in this video, because those of you that have seen these espresso videos before know that I bring a mystery coffee. We had some issues with the delivery of coffee here to LA, so it's not a mystery coffee. It is, however, a coffee that you have never brewed espresso with before.
Just filter only.
Exactly. So he's using a filter, but never on espresso. So it's still us trying to figure out how we dial in a washed processed geisha from the El Socorro farm in Guatemala. CUE winner last year. It's a pretty good coffee.
It's a very good coffee.
I'm quite excited to see what you're going to do with it.
We'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
Let's talk about, we talked about water in the last video, but let's mention it again for those that maybe didn't see it.
Yeah, I use my home water, which is reverse osmosis filtration system. Yeah. I just like the flavor of the water. I didn't think too deep into like I need to have certain things for coffee, but if it tastes good just by itself, it's gotta make the coffee taste better.
Have you ever made any kind of measurements on the water?
I have not. No? Yeah, I haven't gone that nerdy yet.
Because I mean, you've gone pretty nerdy already, right? So it could be nice to just buy like a little pH/ like TDS stick. Mm-hmm. Costs like $10.
Okay. Yeah? Sure, I'll try that. Okay, so I'm gonna measure out 19 grams.
Okay, so 18 gram basket, 19 gram dose.
Yes.
So plus 1 gram from the basket size.
Yes.
Is there any particular reason for this?
Because I'm going to pull it in a little bit longer ratio on this one.
Yep.
I think having more coffee in there helps with the, you don't lose out the texture too much. And also you can have still the flavor in there more. Like it's not just getting too watery.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. So 19 grams, and you have a range of grinders. We saw a Comandante in the previous video as well, but I'm assuming you're not going to use Comandante now.
No, it's too tiring to grind with Comandante. I used to initially. And then I moved up to the Lagom after Comandante, and then now I moved up to the Weber Key.
Yeah.
And I think it does a great job with espresso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, not so much with the pour over setup for a key.
Okay.
For some reason, I think the grind sizes are not that consistent.
Yeah.
So I never got a good result out of key for pour overs, but espresso's been good for me.
Yeah. Exciting. I actually never tried espresso coming out of this grinder.
Oh, really?
No, so I'm quite excited.
Oh, okay. Then you can let me know. All right,
So you put some water on this,
Yep.
same as the filter coffee, and it's to remove static, maybe potentially improve extraction.
So for the grind size, it's been roasted it's 2 months old.
Okay, awesome.
All right. So that's kind of tricky. Let's see what I'll do. Let me try. I'll start with this, and then we'll kind of dial in.
Okay, so would this be like normal? You have like normally a go-to.
So older beans, I tend to go finer.
Yep, which makes sense.
Yeah. And then fresher ones, you start kind of a little bit on the coarser side.
Yep.
This is what I would start. And then from here, I adjust finer or coarser.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the 19 gram dose, is that also where you're starting normally, right?
Normally, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a little bit more specific with espresso than filter coffee.
Is it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
More,
I mean, but I would play around with it too. I used to do like 16.5
Yep.
in the same basket. And then I pull it and see how I like it. So always just trying new things and see what I like. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Awesome. So that's a really loud grinder, I just want to say.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't. They're all pretty loud, but
They're pretty loud, maybe. Yeah. I'm just feeling it's a bit loud.
I remember initially they advertised to be a very quiet grinder.
But all grinders are quiet, and they're 100% uniform, and then they're zero retention, right? Which all three things is a lie, but they still all are, which is interesting.
Okay, so we have
That smells really good, though. I just want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit partial here because it's one of my favorite geisha coffees. But
okay, so I keep the portafilter in. This one's the Flair version that you can preheat the group head.
Yep.
So I keep it in. So we keep the portafilter hot.
Have you then, just out of curiosity, have you ever tried brewing with cold, like chilled or room temperature portafilters?
Yeah, I think so. I have one. I just forgot to stick it in there for a while.
Because that's something that, being a World Barista competitor, that's something we see a lot. And it's something that makes a very big difference. So I would definitely consider to try in the world of experimenting with espresso. Yeah.
It's
maybe not now, but
it's interesting because there's also, I think, study or kind of talk about, do you pre-wet this as well too?
Oh, okay.
Versus not. I think from the video I saw, there's a different results supposedly.
Why would you pre-wet metal?
I guess the way
Temperature.
No, in the hot water, right?
Okay.
But then I always keep it up here, so it keeps it hot.
Okay.
But also being wet versus not, I guess the way the water touches and the way it may have different
flows, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's a classic coffee thing, right? We focus on having good roasted coffee and like good green coffee. Step 1. Step number 100 is whether you should rinse the metal filter or not.
Yeah. So that's
which is cool, but level of importance.
Yeah, you don't need any gadgets. You just have good coffee, good skills, and good palate.
You get pretty far there, right?
Yeah, right.
But then again, it's quite fun with all of these gadgets, right? So don't get me wrong, I have all of them. I just don't use them. That's a difference.
Okay. So I would prep mine.
And I recognize that. That's the St. Anthony.
Yep, St. Anthony's. Just looks, nice.
It's pretty. It's not black
compact.
though. It's not white.
But I have wood touches and finishes as the accent point, so it fits.
It's okay then. Yeah. But you don't have their tampers and distribution tools.
I don't.
Because you don't want to, or because?
I think it was kind of the more expensive side.
Yeah. Okay. We actually, before we did our own at April, we actually used theirs. Now I'm a huge fan of the Force Tamp.
Oh yeah, the one that clicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was not randomly competing in the World Championship. I didn't win a national first, but they had that as a sponsored tamper when I was competing in Melbourne, and then I just took it for fun, and like tried it for practice, and since then that's like everything. That's what I'm using.
Okay.
So you have a fancy thing, which most people saw last year in the World Championship, and the year before, because it was Anthony that kind of made it famous.
Oh, is that?
When he won in Australia, yeah.
Yeah, so, a lot of people use needles to distribute and break up the clumps.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I had my own, I made my own little one with the wine cork.
Ah, cool.
And used it, and it works, I think, totally fine.
It works fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
doesn't look as cool, maybe.
Yeah.
It works fine. Yeah.
But, just wanted to try. I'm curious.
Sure.
Does it make any better?
Yeah. I mean, it's a quite big investment for just wanting to compare the difference, right?
Yeah, but that seems to be the theme. Like you keep investing to learn more, improve.
Yeah, sure.
And does it work?
Sure.
Is it better or is it not? Right? And then so I just use this.
Do you have some kind of structure you're following here, or are you looking at it, or what's the go-to?
So obviously I'm not doing a go-to because I first of all I overdosed on this basket.
It's a bit tight.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go too fast because I'll come out of the
Then it's
basket.
gonna push it out. Yeah.
If you do too slow, you're not creating enough movement to declump and redistribute. So I guess I'm a little too fast because I have some.
Get a little bit of spill.
Yep, just tap a little bit. And then
Why are we tapping?
just to kind of settle down there.
Settle it in the basket. Yeah, sure.
And then it's less fluffy so that I'm not, the grounds are not coming out of it as I'm trying to print the tamper. And then I use Normcore tamper, what is it? Do you call it like weighted or the ones with the like 25 whatever force?
Yep. Like a force push something. We've seen it before in this video actually, or in this channel. Okay, we just pushed it down. The thing is, these tools are great when you just want to be consistent, right? So when you're brewing a lot of coffees and when you want to do it the same way, then that kind of tamper actually really helps. Only downside maybe is that it's harder to regulate tamp pressure, and tamp pressure matters. Yeah. Cool, let's go for it. What do you have to think about now? Because you have some green lights on the Flair here.
Yep, so we keep it the hottest. I saw a video where, because a lot of the times espresso machines, you pull shots out of like 90, 91, 92, 93 degrees.
Yep.
You control the temperature. But with this, obviously you could somewhat control it, but that's all you can do with these settings where you could do the hottest, a little bit less hot, or a little bit less hot, those three settings.
Yeah.
I saw that once you pour water in, even though it's heated up, you're not getting the true temperature. It's going to drop drastically.
Sure.
So you want to keep it the hottest and then pour also the hottest temperature water in here as well too. Yep. And that should be equivalent to about somewhere around maybe low 90s.
Yep, okay. So it's 100 degrees water, and then we're maxing out the temperature on the Flair.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then that's the kind of puck screen has been preheated. It's going to be very warm?
Yeah, it should be hot.
That's quite warm. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that at home. But it's a good way to preheat. Cool. So basket is in.
So sometimes what I'll do is, it's funny. I had this discussion, but I would use the Paragon, the frozen ball here,
Sure.
and then pull a shot as well too. Play around with it, but I haven't seen much difference.
Okay.
So if I feel like it, I do it.
Do you have one in the freezer now?
Yeah, I do. Should we try it with
Do you
it?
want to pop one in?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. That's just fun. So Paragon, for those of you that don't know, it's basically a chilling technique. I also love the fact that you just randomly have them in the freezer.
Always.
How many do you have?
Just 2.
Okay.
I have
So nothing too outlandish. That's cool. So when you take this out, you have to be a bit quick. So I'm going to talk less, and we're just going to... I mean, it looks cool.
You know, looking cool is very important. It feels good when you do things.
True though, and people win world championships with these. We've seen that, right? Anyway, so it's the theory is to retain more aromatic compounds in the coffee.
Yes, but maybe I'm not good enough to tell the difference. I don't know if it's me
I'm
or
not good enough to tell the difference either. So I'm here with you. Cool. So you filled in water, you tapped it in, you're plugging it in. Are we ready to go?
ready to go.
Okay, let's go.
So what I'll do is go up to about 3 bars.
Okay. And you kind of keep it there? No, you think more.
Start raising a little bit more to about 6 bars.
Are you looking at the timer now?
I am.
Oh, cool.
And then keep it around 6 the whole time. And then ramp it down to about... slowly here.
And then, okay, so we're going a pretty long ratio. So about 52 grams out, liquid.
Yep.
For 19 grams of coffee. So I say that's a pretty solid. Yeah.
It went longer than I wanted to.
Volume-wise or contact?
Time-wise, 31 seconds,
Okay,
yeah.
so longer.
I want to keep it on the probably anywhere between 19 to 22, somewhere around there.
Okay.
That was my intention, and then I actually did forget one thing too to do.
Okay.
I forgot to put filter.
Okay.
On the bottom.
That's probably going to slow it down a little bit more, I would say.
So
then we have to go quite a lot closer for the second shot, I would say. Okay. So now you're pulling it out. That's kind of cleaning. We're getting the excess water out. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So one thing I do, I don't know if other people do this at all, but I taste what I pulled out.
Okay, sure.
Because then it gives me an idea, do I still have more flavors to pull out, or did I stop at the right time as well too? So not just time, and not just by the output of the espresso, but also the excess water to see if I can pull more or pull less.
Okay. That's interesting.
You want to taste it too?
This is like a first time for me, right? And that's also what's amazing with these series, because I go through a lot of first times. So let's do it. Is it gonna taste horrible?
No.
Okay. It smells like jasmine and candied citrus. A little bit bitter, but like flavors. Yeah.
So then I kind of, based on that, maybe I did cut off at the right time.
Okay.
And I still taste something more and still texture's good. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can pull more out.
Okay, so now you want to pull more out then?
No, I think I will try a little bit less. Yeah. I don't want that bitter flavor in there.
I hear you.
Yeah.
In this or in the espresso?
Based on this, I will pull less.
Okay, cool. So we're dialing in on this now. I'm sure that's a YouTube.
But I also drink this to figure it out, 100%. Of course. But at least I know, I stopped at the right time or not. I kind of gauge that as well too.
I like that though, and I'd be super curious to hear what everyone watching has to say about that as well.
It's just really quick.
Oh, you drink espresso in these as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whiskey glass is a new trend here. That's awesome.
We just watched it.
I'm just gonna give this a smell. What's a good espresso for you?
Not harsh, not too rough. Nice, still have the right texture, but I don't think you get as much clarity as filter coffee. I guess you can if you're really good, but for me, that's why I think I love filter coffee more. You just get a wider spectrum, all the flavors and the clarity.
Oh, sure.
But with espresso, I think it's a different spectrum. It's kind of more the intensity, enjoy the intensity, but still be able to experience the flavors a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You get the same notes, but it's a different texture and different feel.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's try this a little bit.
So we give it a quick stir, and then we pour it over. Do you always brew it in like a vessel like this and pour it over into the cup, or do you sometimes brew it directly into the cup you're drinking from?
If I'm just drinking,
Like brewing.
yeah, I would just brew directly into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, great glasses. Like the aromatic experience of, or the aroma experience of espresso is greatly overlooked. In my mind, I think that's something that is actually really important. And these makes it smell really nice, no?
A little dry at the end.
Yeah.
I would keep the contact time shorter.
Yeah.
I think it will round up the texture more.
Yeah. I think it's, and we're not blaming anyone here. I think if we drop the Paragon, definitely go coarser, because it becomes a little bit sharp, and then it's the dryness in the end that it's a little bit of an issue.
But you're starting with great coffee, so I mean, there's still great flavors, but I think it's
I mean, I had worse espressos in LA.
So you're saying it's pretty bad?
I'm thinking we can do better than this.
Yes,
for
we
sure.
can do that.
I have faith. Let's try it. So is then the only thing you want to change here to go coarser, or would you change anything else?
From here, I would normally just change grind. Let's change one thing at a time.
Sure.
Right?
How much coarser would you?
Good question.
Good question. True. It's also, this is a lighter roast, so that is part of why you have like a slower flow rate, for sure.
Because it's harder to extract.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if I were you, I would be like going quite a lot coarser. It's not a small change in settings; it would be quite a lot, I think. Which on this grinder, I don't know what that is, but 11 to 12.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, we started at 11. Do we know what that means? Do we have any idea on microns? Or
No,
like fine, but you can go a lot finer, I assume, because 11 is 11 and not.
you can go much coarser too. I mean, you just keep rotating.
Ah, okay, so you can basically do whatever.
It just doesn't end. Just keep doing it. Right?
Are you on the first
I am.
round? Okay. So basically, we started with 11 on the first round, and now we're trying 12.
Let's go even more. Let's do a drastic kind of.
Let's do drastic. I don't think that's an issue. Like, this is gonna taste really good, also. But now you're safing it, right? If you want to go drastic, go 13.
13. All right, let's try.
Let's do it.
And then should we also add maybe the paper filter or keep the variable?
Let's try it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me wash these really quick.
I would say in general that having like the metal screen, I'm not convinced. But then at the same time, Don in the series in Korea, he brewed a pretty great espresso with that metal screen. Not that specific screen, a different one to be fair, but that actually tasted really good. But I'm always, whenever I get a bit of dryness in a coffee, I'm always thinking that adding metal to it might be a little bit of a challenge.
Is it the metal flavors that you're concerned about?
I'm very sensitive tactile-wise, but I'm actually thinking that the metal of the, let's say, Paragon is the challenger. I think that it's actually adding dryness. Then, to be fair, and also in their defense, they would probably never pull an espresso shot on the kind of bowl, the whole extraction.
Or you would remove
They would just do it on like part of it. To be fair, because I never actually seen anyone pull the whole extension of the shot, the duration of the shot over the bowl. Yeah. Anyhow, let's try it. We tried it without the Paragon. We tried it with the paper filter. We're gonna do the same dose. We're going from 11 on the grind size to 13, which looks like it's a big difference on the grinder. What kind of espresso do you normally brew at home? Or what's the roast from, or you never brew espresso?
No. I mean, I try any coffee that I'm doing filter, also espresso as well too, for the most part.
Yeah.
But then some of the expensive gauges, I sometimes get scared to screw up and waste it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I kind of avoid that. But I do try to do both just to see how it's different.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would do a lot of funky stuff, like, heavily processed, like peach and lychee fermented together type as well too. Sure. Just to get it's just interesting to see how that changes.
Yeah.
And those are actually amazing as a latte. Like it's just
with
really,
milk.
Yeah,
sure.
it brings out this fruit, like it's like peach, almost like milk tea kind of flavor, right?
Yeah.
So it's fun to play around with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also a purist in heart, but but just,
It's a style for sure. Yeah.
But I think trying and being exposed to different things will help you to appreciate and understand more.
Yeah, I get it for sure. Cool, so we're starting this again. Go for it. Do you know is it a variable RPM? Or
Yeah, it is.
All right. Are you like slow?
I'm on the faster side.
You're on the faster side.
Yeah. So it could be really quiet if you go slow.
All right, but you don't want to be too slow, right?
So the problem with the Weber key is it stalls if it's too
slow.
No, too slow if it's too light.
Sure, yeah, because you don't have enough force to crash. Yeah, sure.
So I think the newer version has more torque to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
But that is the downfall of this.
Also, like RPM, I think is one of those things where it has a big impact, but it's so difficult to consistently determine what that impact is, because really what happens is that the uniformity in grind size is going to be really different.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, part of the challenge. Cool. Okay, so this looks pretty coarse, I would say, in general.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes.
Cleaning it up, just nice, and then popping in a paper filter. Are you going to rinse that?
I will spray.
You'll spray, okay. That's how we do it. We use that in Korea, right? And then we also spray.
Okay.
Cool. Popping it in. That seems to be really handy, though. It's like a user-friendly tool.
That part, yeah, I think it's a great idea the way they designed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Popping that up, a little bit of Barista Hustle. Then a bit slower. Cleaning up the edges. A little bit of a tap, and then we tamp. Do you usually pull like back-to-back shots like this, or?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I usually pull about 3 to 4 shots.
Okay.
Just so that I'm testing it out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I don't drink all of it.
No, sure. That's also quite a lot to run with 4 espresso shots.
What I'll do is I'll freeze them if it tastes good. And then I'll just pop them out and when I want to and drink it.
You freeze the actual espresso?
Yeah. I will put a chilling ball in right away, chill it immediately, and then put it in the freezer.
And then you take it out.
when I want to
You
drink.
basically defrost, and
You
then
can
you actually
do
drink it.
hot water to do that, Americano, or I can just put cold water and ice and
Do
drink
you
it.
have any in the freezer now?
No, not right now. Yeah.
I have never heard that in my life. I have a friend of mine with a coffee shop in Berlin, and he does like ice lattes by freezing espresso cubes, and then he pours like milk on,
Yeah.
and then that's like the ice latte. But I never heard about anyone doing it and like unfreezing them, like drinking them as espresso. How is that?
That's great.
It's great?
Because I'm free.
Alright,
I'm
that's great.
chilling it immediately, so then it's retaining that the flavors more. I think.
Yeah.
Like we said, the whole Paragon theory, right? That's what I'm thinking. Who knows, right? But
Sure.
But no, it tastes great. Yeah.
Tastes
After
great.
like even
What's
a
like
week
the
later,
tactile of that?
it's just feels the same. I think.
It feels the same. Oh, okay. Another thing to try that I haven't tried at home, but you guys should try it as well.
But because it is cold, obviously, if you drink it cold, it's gonna be the flavor's a little bit more muted, I would say.
True that. You're not heating it up again.
But you can do hot water into hot Americano if you want. Yeah.
Okay, maybe like that could be the secret to Americanos in the future.
I don't want to waste it, right? So
I appreciate that though.
it's okay to throw it away, right? Let's get rid of the.
We said that and we just threw away an espresso, but that's okay.
But it wasn't good. I only do that for ones that I'm satisfied
You
with.
find like the good recipe and then you do it, which I think makes sense. Are you at all concerned with the fact that you have the coffee in like a heated?
I usually tend to go right away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at least for me, it hasn't been like that big of a difference. Like I can't tell that much.
No.
So let's see. So we went much coarser on this. So
yeah, 2 settings coarser, which is quite a lot on this grinder.
yeah, I think it's gonna flow super fast.
Pulling it in.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it. Let's do a super fast espresso.
And that could taste better. We'll see.
So that's not super fast, is it? No, it is. 3, 5.
I think it's
That is
6
super
bars.
fast. Wow, that's super fast. Okay, so that is a super fast espresso. That's on
16
me though,
seconds.
because I told you to go coarser.
No, it's we just
16.
tried.
I know coffee shops that brew espressos on 16 seconds.
16 seconds and 20 grams of output. All right, let's. You want to taste it?
I do want to taste it. I want to taste that. I'm almost more interested in tasting the stuff that comes out because I've never done that.
Yeah, you can just taste this out. I'm not gonna taste it.
So would you like if this tastes different now? Will this tell us? Like what am I reading into this now?
Basically, it's like, am I tasting anything
So this is not as tasty.
as earlier?
No, this is less flavors.
Yeah, because
Similar tactile, less flavors. Would that mean that this espresso would have less flavors but a similar tactile?
most likely it would be waterier, right? That's what I'm guessing. We had a longer ratio as well too.
Smells good though. Did we mix it?
Yeah.
I think what we should do, we should probably do the 12, right?
Yep.
Easy to say afterwards.
Still smells good.
I'll say it's considerably better than the previous shot.
Oh, even like this, okay.
Yeah. So I would much rather drink this than what we did.
You definitely get more of the acidic notes come strong in the beginning, I think, but
Sure, but it's more balanced, I feel.
yeah, but the texture on the finish is much better.
Much better. A lot cleaner, almost juicy. Very kind of almost lemon verbena, like candied citrus vibe to it. I mean, let's definitely do one more just for the sake of experimenting because it's interesting. And I feel 12 is like where we're gonna go. But this, I would be, if someone served me this in a coffee shop, I would like happily pay and sit down and like enjoy the coffee.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. All right.
For sure.
I'll take your money.
No, definitely. That is the best espresso in LA on the street. I'm not saying that because it's April coffee. Obviously, I'm partial here.
So what sometimes I do is if I feel like it can open up more, just like filter coffee, the way I aerate it, I would put a drop of water as well to see how. I think there's a fun of seeing what it does. Yeah. So I would drink it first, and then later I'll add a drop to see how it changes as well too.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a whiskey thing.
It's a whiskey thing. I learned that from whiskey. That just even 1 or 2 drops changes completely. It's actually pretty good.
I'm honestly, I quite enjoy that.
It's pretty juicy.
I would say as a general rule, like a 15, 16, so like in April, for example, if we pull that kind of espresso, I would not want to serve it because as a general idea, that fast of an espresso would not extract enough. I think it wouldn't be tasty. But now you have fancy distribution tools. You have a lot of gadgets, right? Which I think maybe is helping here because you're extracting this coffee quite well. I think also a lot of that dryness was the initial use of the
Paragon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which we maybe used incorrectly, right? So we're not blaming anyone.
Yeah.
But I think so. That's already way better. But I say let's go 12, and let's do one more shot, just because it's fun to do espresso shots. Kind of makes me want to unpack mine because I have one standing. I just haven't used it in a while.
You mean this?
Yeah. We did a YouTube video on it way back, actually, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
I rinse it. You do your coffee and okay.
Well, I can't do anything with that.
So I'll be fast. I do appreciate how clean you work, though. Have you ever tried a different basket size?
I have not. Yeah, I pay attention to more, or I guess I focus more on filter brewing.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I think I enjoy more.
Yeah. Because I would say as a general rule that I would always underdose in the basket, just personally. This is obviously tasting pretty good, so I'm not saying you should change anything, but basket size is basically really important. So I think it's definitely something that you should consider.
Yeah, so sometimes I will do like 16.5 in this basket as well too, just to play around. Okay, so we got this.
Awesome, let's do it. And it's also like surprisingly easy to kind of work with, right? Like you pulled a few shots quite effortless.
Puck screen? Did you take it with you?
Did I take that with me? Didn't I get that to you?
Did you?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, here, sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you. So what did you think?
Filter, which maybe also helped, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. It makes a cleaner cup. That's how I feel.
Yeah, worth testing.
In your theory, this should slow down the shot more?
I'm gonna say it would. Honestly, I haven't used it enough myself to come with any concrete things. I'm sure someone on YouTube has said something else. But the main thing with this is to actually get a more uniform flow, right? Because of how it absorbs the liquid when it goes through. Plus it cleans out the puck easier. I think that's a big thing as well. A lot of the new baskets have like straight walls, and then it's very easy or very difficult to actually clean them. But it gets really easy with the paper filter in the bottom. Awesome. So distribution. Hard to be consistent with, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think doing it with obviously your hand, you have right. You can
Like keeping that speed. It seems a bit difficult. I haven't used that enough to say anything about it, but
I guess it does make the workflow a little faster.
potentially, yeah. Cool. We're tapping, we're cleaning, and then we're good to go. Awesome. So basically, same variables here. We're running a 19-gram shot, 18-gram basket. We have a paper filter in the bottom. We have the puck screen on the top. And we went 12 on the grinder now instead of 13. Yep. Mm-hmm. So 11, we didn't like it. We're thinking that might be Paragon, but it could also be grind size. Probably, it's always a combination. It's never one single factor. We went a bit coarser, extracted very quickly, which we kind of liked, but we think we can make it a little bit better. We kept the water temp the same, so it's pretty much a very similar espresso shot. Everything is maxed out on temperature pretty much, like highest temperature setting, 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, we'll give it a go.
Go for it. Yeah, so that's for sure a bit slower again, right? He's going up three bar pressure, up to 5. What's your max pressure?
6.
6, yeah. And then we're looking at 18, 19. So 20-second shot, 54 grams out. In theory, sounds delicious in my head, but let's taste it.
I'll also taste this too.
So that's the most interesting thing today, actually, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's unusual for other people, but I think that's the perk of like Flair, because you have to empty this out. And I was kind of thinking, how does this taste?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You should tell Flair about this. So best smelling version.
Okay.
Yeah. Low on flavor, which the other one was also. Mm-hmm. A little bit drier.
I wonder why.
So let's see if this espresso shot is drier. But to be fair, the one we didn't like so much flavor-wise had a bit more flavor here, I think. The one we liked had less flavor.
So if I did a shorter ratio, do you think that would have changed anything?
In this? In this, I have no clue. Maybe. Shorter ratio in espresso, I would say, in general, is never a good thing. Mm. That's one of these kind of relics of the past that people still do, and I can't get my head around it. But it's also a stylistic thing taste-wise, right? But in my book, it just doesn't make sense.
So we'll try the way it is, and then we'll try with the drop of water as well, too.
Oh, yeah. This smells great, though. Maybe it is. I'm liking these glasses, though.
It just really gets the aroma in your nose.
It's too bad if you competed, you couldn't use them because they're illegal glasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So would that have been the issue yesterday, too?
No. Just in Barista.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a size requirement. Mm. I mean, that is a pretty good espresso. You have a tad dryness in the end if you want to be a little bit like picky on it.
Yeah, it does.
But like up front, it's super
other one was
velvety,
juicier
smooth.
though.
It was juicier, but this is smoother. Mm. This has more tactile, which in this case, I appreciate the tactile. Sure, it's a tad dryness here, right? But I mean, that could be like a zesty.
Should we give it a try? Yeah. See if that changes.
Okay, so we did 1 drop of water in the espresso. I mean, it still smells great, but I guess that wouldn't change much. I mean, it did become a little bit cleaner. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the texture changes a little bit. Less drying.
So if I were to explain this, well, I'm gonna get like candied citrus vibe to it. It is a little bit of marzipan vibe. I think like it's a bit like texturally also, and I mean this in a good way, not in a bad way. Has a lot of florality to it. Has a lot of that kind of stone fruit. I would say more like green melon vibe.
Like honeydew a little bit, yeah.
Also like in a good way.
I think the drop, I don't know about you, but made me feel like it's became a little bit juicier.
Could we do another drop just to see what happens? I mean, diluting espresso makes sense. We dilute filter coffee. Or I don't, but people do. Wow. It's also these glasses. It just makes espresso smells better, no?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it smells really good.
The thing is, when you compete in espresso or barista, they're not evaluating aroma. So there's no one that is looking into it. No one cares. They just care about flavor and tactile. So we don't get to drink espresso in like cool glasses.
Yeah. I'm okay with the texture, but still there's some little bit of, I think, the dryness.
There is like a little bit of dryness, sure. I mean, the other shot was cleaner. This has better flavor. The other one has good flavors, but was juicier. So if you want this really clean crisp, then maybe I would have done, let's say, 11. Now where are we? 12.3 then maybe on this grinder, 12.2. So maybe like on a little bit coarser. But like I'm quite down with this. I think it's pretty tasty.
Yeah, can I compete barista with this?
You can. The thing is, the difficult with competing is not to brew a good espresso at home. It's to brew a good espresso on the stage.
Yeah.
Two very different things, right?
But if this level of espresso compared to
from a competition
world level or competition level, like.
So I would say, not a professional judge, so you shouldn't use me as a reference. I'm gonna say that because we have mainly the flavor and tactile score, and it's like a 0 to 6. You could touch on 4 on tactile on this, which if you pull that off in a world championship, you score really well. That's like a good thing. You can flavor-wise maybe be a 3. You're not gonna touch 4 or 5.
Got it.
But basically, it would get you into a semifinal if you pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll compete with the Flair.
That you cannot, I would say. But I'm sure there is. Doesn't Flair have a espresso competition?
Do they? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Flair should have, right?
Yeah.
We should tell Flair. You guys, everyone should tell Flair because that would be really fun. I will compete.
Yeah.
If Flair wanted me to. Let's see. Anyhow, I think it's a good spot to wrap it up, right? It's also late, so we don't want to drink so much espresso. I think super interesting, right? You can obviously brew some solid espresso on the Flair. I think we knew that before, but now we've seen some different techniques. Obviously, it's fun to have a lot of different gadgets. As always, when it comes to gadgets, some are maybe more useful than others, but they're all useful.
Yeah, not necessary.
They're interesting, right? They're fun. I give them that, right? But I think again, how you make tasty espresso is good water, good flow rates, good roast, good beans. That's like key thing, right? And then everything else is kind of important, but that's the final 5%, right? Most people don't even get to the first step, right? So I think focus on that when we brew espresso at home. With that, we just want to say thank you as always for watching. Check out all of our other espresso videos as well. We have them here at this time. We've done a few of them. It's really exciting. We're going to continue as well. We're really interested in hearing your comments, your thoughts. I know a lot of you have the Flair at home, so definitely tune in and let us know how it works out. Patreon, as always, if you haven't already subscribed, that's where we share all the latest stuff that's happening in April. We have a few new brewers coming up, new paper filters. So tune in and make sure that you get the latest updates. So with that, just want to say thank you again, being patient enough to do 2 videos with us. We really appreciate that. And thank you all of you for watching.
We want to give a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to make these videos. And we want you to all to feel free to always come with suggestions and ideas on the content that you want to see, because we are doing this for you and because of you. Thank you from all of us here at April.